I want y'all to get a good look at what you see on your screen. I don't have to put no picture behind it or any kind of video or audio other than my sound of my voice with this. This is coming from The Hill, and I saw this on Twitter. It says analysis. White people receiving virus vaccine at higher rates than black and Latino Americans. Drawn up yesterday, because I'm recording it on January 27th, on January 26th. I looked at this and just laughed. I said, here they go again, racializing something that didn't even have to be racialized, just like they did with the virus initially. And it's amazing that they are even saying this, considering last year, wasn't it palm colored that had the biggest issue wearing a mask? Wasn't it palm colored that had the biggest issue with quarantining? Now, how is it that they're the ones receiving the vaccine at a higher rate if they have nothing to worry about? And they were some of the main ones calling this a hoax. But I'm also not so surprised because, they did all those clinical trials and everything like that. And I've talked about those on several videos that I've done on my channel, and how resistant a lot of black people were and how they were starting to get upset. They even got upset that in the continent of Africa that their numbers were so low. Like they probably still pondering that right now as we speak. I have not read this article yet, so this is going to be fresh to myself and to those of you who have not read it as of yet. It says, white Americans are receiving the virus vaccine at a higher rate than black and Latino populations, a new analysis has found, underscoring how minority communities continue to be disproportionately hit by the ongoing pandemic. According to a new analysis from CNN that reviewed racial health data for 14 states, more than 4% of the white people have been administered the vaccine compared to just 1.9% of black Americans and 1.8% of Hispanic Americans. CNN reports that in some states, the number of white people who have received vaccines is greater than the number of those who have been diagnosed with COVID-19, while the opposite could be said of black and Latino populations. In Pennsylvania, just 3% of black residents have received vaccines, despite African Americans accounting for 13% of the deaths. There they go with that 13 number again. Allegedly we're 13% of the population. Now here you have 13% of Pennsylvania, the state of PA, who account for the amount of deaths linked to COVID. They love that 13 number. Ironically, 13, what is the 13th Amendment? You know what? I think I just had an epiphany. 13% of the population, so-called 50% of the crime, 13th Amendment. Is anyone seeing the correlation here, or is it just me? Like, this just popped up in my head right quick. CNN reports that in some states, I'm sorry about that, I just almost read the same part again. The analysis comes months after reporting from the Center for Disease Control and Prevention showed black, Latino, Hispanic, and Native American people were being hospitalized with COVID-19 at nearly 4 times the rate of non-Hispanic white people. According to the WUVIT racial data tracker, black people in the U.S. are also dying from the illness at 1.5 times the rate of white people. This almost sounds like a couple of things. One, it almost sounds like they're putting palm colored on a pedestal, but when have they ever not done that? To try to make it seem like, we're such good Americans and, it's the American way. It's so patriotic to go out and get that vaccine. Because look, palm colored is doing it, so everybody should be doing it. There's also saying that black people, and they had the Latinos in there. I've said this before and I'll say it again, and I'm going to stand firm on this. The only time they ever like to lump Latinos in with black people is when it's something bad. They see us not getting this vaccine as something bad. So, just for the sake of this article, I'll put us in here together. They put us in, they also are doing this for black people and quote unquote brown people because they're saying we're being rebellious against this vaccine. If you look back through history, then you'll understand why. Well, black people, I can't really speak for anybody else, but black people in particular, why we are resistant to this and not quick to jump at it either. But what's so funny? They dismissed that. I've heard people mock that on TV about how, they keep talking about history. Well, this wasn't back then. This is today. History has a way of repeating itself. And then we've heard of the side effects. Notice that you don't really hear about the side effects anymore. And then, with Hank Aaron and, passing and whatnot, they said it was a natural cause. Is how ironic that he died after getting the vaccine like 1 or 2 weeks prior. I mean, I'm just saying. But yeah, of course, this is the American way. They had to racialize this. I'm not surprised that they did. After all, they racialized the virus itself very early on. So it's like, you want to talk all that crap about us and then expect us to run and jump and do a Jubilee jig at the line to get this vaccine that y'all developed in less than a year. Within the year, might I add, of the virus really, really eclipsing or, taking its toll. And then dismiss us when we talk about the historical context behind Black people and the lack of health care that we have received in this nation as a collective, and still even do to this day. So they basically saying, well, if white people are going out there and doing it, then, by default, those other people, they're going to go do it too. Not necessarily. They still don't have the numbers of people they want out of our community to do it. Like I said, I'll give it to Black people on this one. We are being very resistant toward this vaccine. We're not all jumping out trying to go and receive this thing, especially since you have to take, I believe, more than one. You have to take one, then you got to come back and take another one. So it's not like a flu shot where you get it all in one dose. Like in this one, you got to go in multiples before it really takes effect. And then the thing is, the vaccine doesn't prevent you from, it doesn't cure. It is not a cure. A lot of people think that it's a cure. It's not a cure. Again, I will say the vaccine is not a cure. The scene is not a cure. Because some people be out here saying, "Oh, I got the scene, and now I'll be whooping free." Not necessarily, because people still been getting them flu shots, and they still get the flu. All it does is it's a preventative measure. It keeps down or lessens the chances of you getting it, but it doesn't mean that you won't. This virus, as far as we know, is here to stay, just like the flu. Now, if they can get it regulated down to a season like the flu, that will be preferred. But as of right now, it's still flourishing. I didn't mean to go off into a tangent about that. So let me kind of, swing it back to the topic at hand. They got a lot of nerve. I see exactly what they're doing. It's so blatantly obvious, and it's right out of the palm-colored, all-American, all-patriotic, red, white, and blue handbook pamphlet brochure. Prop up palm-colored when it comes to something like this, and then everyone else is going to follow their lead because you know what they're going to say. Because of palm-colored, we saved the nation from WOVID. Because, we went out in droves and we took the vaccine, and then everybody followed our lead. And you also got a question, too. Are we all getting the same exact vaccine? Because there's always been speculation that some have been getting placebos. So you got to also take that into consideration, because you never know. You never know when it comes to who and how they get down. I'm just saying. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Text the number that's pinned down in the comments below so you can receive notifications every time I upload a new video. And I will talk to you in the next one.